The Establishment Clause is part of the First Amendment, and it reads, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. Now, the original intended purpose was to prohibit the national government from declaring and supporting a national religion, or basically, separation of church and state. Now, whether or not it was intended to prevent the national government from supporting Christianity in general is unknown.
There have been many cases that have caused controversy with the Establishment Clause. For example, Tennessee v. Scopes in 1925 in Dayton, Tennessee, John Scopes was charged with illegally teaching the theory of evolution to high school biology class. The trial, also known as the monkey trial, lasted only 8 days, and it caused 22 states to have a law prohibiting teaching in evolution. Another case in 1987, Edwards v. Aguillard, Louisiana had a Creationism Act, or the Balanced Treatment for Creation Science and Evolution Science in Public School Instruction Act, prevented the teaching of evolution unless it was accompanied by teaching of biblical creationism and evolution were hand in hand. And on June 19, 1987, a 7-2 majority opinion ruled that the act contained an unconstitutional infringement in regards to the Establishment Act. Now, you might have heard about the Indiana Senate Bill 89 trying to pass creationism into our biology classrooms. The Supreme Court struck down a similar legislation as an unconstitutional establishment of religion. Instead of getting rid of it, though, Indiana has amended it to allow more religions to view on its origins.
Public aid to religious schools. There are many opinions about it, and a lot of them are not very good. Let's see. Waltz versus Tax Commission. Waltz versus Tax Commission was about a man named Waltz who wanted to prevent tax money from being given to churches. Taxpayers were indirectly giving churches money, and they were very unaware of it. Waltz felt it was unconstitutional. It was ruled that churches are a part of society and deserve the same benefits as other organizations. And Everson versus Board of Education. The schools of the township wanted to be reimbursed for the money used on buses for transportation to private schools. The Establishment Clause was not violated unless the money was given to a specific school or program of the school. In Zellman versus Simon Harris, scholarship money and how kids and parents should have the option of going to a private school or public school was a big issue. The program was ruled a program of private choice. It permitted individuals to make their own choices, which did not violate the Establishment Clause.
Another religious cases that we had is Lynch versus Downey in 1983, where a Christmas display was located in the city shopping district of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, annually, but Daniel Downey objected that the display that took action against Dennis Lynch and the mayor of Pawtucket. The court decided that the city did not violate the Establishment Clause, and the court found that it was not showing religious, but it was more about the city's tradition. In McCreary County versus ACLU in 2004, the Ten Commandments were being framed and placed in courthouses. The ACLU thought that this was unconstitutional because they were influenced religions, which government is not allowed to do in this. The court decided on 5 votes for ACL and 4 votes against it. It was proven to be unconstitutional. In Van Orden versus Perry in 2004, not so long ago, a monument of the Ten Commandments was built outside Texas State Capitol's building. Van Orden thought that it was unconstitutional endorsement of religion, but the court decided on 5-4 votes that it was not unconstitutional to give the monument because they were putting it up for tradition that most people have and not just to show religion.
Thomas Jefferson was of the belief that there should be a wall of separation between government and religion. Debate over the interpretation of the Establishment Clause started in 1947 with the case of Everson versus the Board of Education. Much debate over the clause and what is acceptable in regards to the clause has ensued since then, resulting in quite a few court cases, including the ones previously explained. The Establishment Clause is something that touches our lives every day. For instance, even in the pledge, we specifically say one nation under God. But does this violate the Constitution? The line between church and state is one that is often blurred and will probably continue to be a topic of controversy in the future.